Hello, everyone. This is Doc Holliday. I wanted to get on here to talk a little bit more about COVID-19. I want to answer two questions that I'm sure a lot of people are wondering right now. The first question is, what is the reasons for the sudden explosion of cases? And the second question is why school-age kids aren't um, getting affected at such a high rates as the adults are. So I'm going to answer the second one first, and that one is that, excuse me, that one is that the kids, they aren't out in the cold as much, talking to their friends, driving to pick up the groceries or, on the bus or whatever, or, um, mass transit, Greyhounds. They're not doing all of those things for the majority. The majority of the traveling and everything is done by the adults. The more the work, well, I'll further explain how that is or why it is that they're not getting it as I answer the first question, excuse me, which is again, what is the reason for the sudden explosion of cases? So there's like one, two, three, four. There's like, I don't know, five reasons why. Please bear with me. And I'm looking down at my notes as I'm sharing this with you. The first thing is that in the wintertime, people have to understand that if we are out in the cold, regardless of whether or not we are wearing a coat or whatever, if we have some kind of exposed skin, if we feel cold, our body is going to automatically work a lot harder to produce more energy to keep you from being cold. Um, this 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 phenomenon or whatever is called thermogenesis, and a way that I can illustrate it to you is if you could imagine sometimes being like in the doctor's office or dentist or hospital, and it'd be super cold in those places, and you be cold, and you coming in with your t-shirt or whatever, um, and you go in there and it's cold, and you're like, man, you freezing for a minute, like 5-10 minutes. All of a sudden you're like, hey man, why am I sweating? I'm sweating up under my arms, and yet I'm freezing, like I'm shivering and everything. Well, what is happening is your body is responding. That thermogenesis, what that does is I think it's the hypothalamus muscle or gland. It signals to all of the cells in your body to work faster, to create more energy, to in order to heat up the body. It's like a self-regulating mechanism to counter all the cold or whatever that you're experiencing from the outside environment. So now, as a result of that, again, in the cold weather, you sweat. Well, in both instances, you sweat. Okay, let me backtrack. In cold weather, by you having your body to do more work and everything, that work transfers into to energy, which transfers into sweat, which is comes out of your pores. The same thing like when you lift the weights and everything. That is having your cells in your body use energy. The energy that is being used is curling the iron and everything, whereas the energy being used in this case is to heat up the body to regulate the body temperatures. Now, as a result of you doing that, you again, perspire. And in the summertime, this dynamic does not happen as much because the temperature variance from you and the outside is a lot more closely together. So your body doesn't have to work as much to keep it warm, because the temperatures and everything are much closer together in the summer times versus in the wintertime. Now, in the wintertime, again, because you are sweating that much more, or your body is working that much more to create energy to keep you warmer inside of that, inside of your jacket and everything, inside of your clothes, that sweat evaporates naturally, regardless to whether it's the summertime or wintertime. Whenever the sweat goes out into the air, it automatically evaporates. In the wintertime, however, the evaporations goes a lot slower. And the reason why it goes a lot slower is because of the fact that the air in the cold weather is a lot denser. There's a lot denser air in cold environments versus in hot environments. That's why you will see in the apartment buildings and everything where hot air tends to rise up to the ceiling. You know, when you in the house or whatever, when it's 90 degrees outside and everything, it feels cooler in the basement, but if you go up in the attic, it's hot as heck. Well, that is what's happening with the cold in the wintertime. It's a lot more denser. So your perspiration and everything, by the air being more denser, the preparation or the evaporation from the vapor or whatever from the perspiration stays a lot longer, and it is more dense. So you're not only sweating a lot, but you're also producing a lot of heat, and that heat is converting to sweat, and that sweat is converted to steam, and that steam, it gets more and more the colder and colder that it gets, because your body has to compensate for that loss of, for that difference in air temperature. So the colder it is, the more that person has COVID-19, the more likely that person is going to be shedding COVID-19. So that mask that you're wearing, that mask that you're wearing, it isn't going. This mask is not going to protect you. None of these masks. You even see it on the news. They say, okay, wear a mask to prevent the spread. They're trying to again keep people from spreading the disease by wearing a mask. But what the researchers haven't come up with yet is the fact that COVID also spreads in the steam within as you perspire as well. So that is why it is so many people now coming up with the disease. Now, in my previous video, I told everyone that you have to look at fighting this virus as you would trying to fight a virus on a computer screen, or to prevent hackers from getting access to your files. What you do then is you would set up the most difficult password that you could to make sure that the crooks or the hackers do not break into your computer and everything, or into your program, whatever you set the password for. So now, in terms of the real life thing, you also have to protect yourself from the virus, and you need to do the best. You need to utilize the best resources available to you to prevent yourself from catching the virus. All right. So now, understand, there has been over 500,000 doctors, nurses, and medical staff that have caught this disease in the United States. I will say this number again. There's been over 500,000 nurses and doctors and hospital staff that have actually came down with this disease since it's been in circulation. Because remember, we got over 12 million people that are contracted this disease. Of those 12 million people, over 500,000 of those people are nurses and doctors and LPNs and whatever it is that is treating this these people. They have been contracting this disease too. Okay, so I say that to say this. This, in terms of virus protection, in terms of, say, password protection, creating a strong password, this is not a strong password. This is like putting wood as your password or your name as your password. This is weak. This would be the equivalent of a weak password if you were to set up one online. You don't want weak. They're not even going to allow you to make a weak password. You can't even do that unless you put in the characters that they say that they want you to put in the one capital letter. They want you to put one number, and they want you to put a symbol or something like that in there. And in the same respect, you want to put as much of a resistor from you catching the virus as you can in real life. This is equivalent of that password that says, okay, you're adding the capital letters, you're adding the numbers, and you're adding the signs into it, and it's at least 8 digits long. You know what I mean? Like this is something that will protect you from the dirty air that you're breathing in. It will protect you from, like I said, in the wintertime when they have this big stream of smoke from somebody breathing, or the perspiration from somebody's head that is evaporating. This will protect you from that. This mask here, this will not protect you. This will not protect you, ladies and gentlemen. This right here will not protect you. This is weak. Do not use weak anymore. As you see, we got how many people? We got over like 160,000 people contracting this disease every day. They are either using no protection or weak protection. In doing this, stop doing the weak protection. You got to upgrade to a more professional thing. Because again, this was not intended to keep you from catching COVID. This was implemented to keep you from passing it to somebody else. This was never something that was identified as something that can prevent you from catching COVID-19. Now, that being said, this will prevent you from catching COVID-19. It says it in all this literature and everything, because you are taking in air from these canisters. All air has to filter through these canisters, and you will be inhaling it from after the filtration has already been done. So again, like these companies, they have like these little what do I do with this stupid thing? They have the cloth what do you call it? The cloth thing, the cloth face mask. You have people like that, or you will have people using like a scarf or something. I don't know, they're doing something like this crap, trying to keep from catching COVID or whatever. This stuff, it does not work. This stuff right here, the American people really have not ascertained how serious this problem is. This is absolutely, this is chemical warfare. This is absolutely chemical warfare. It is as if Iran or China came into each of our nations and just put up a dirty bomb. I mean, each of our cities just put up dirty bombs everywhere. Just do. And people were unaware of it. Now they have it. Now, in order for now, the next step is for everybody to to spread to everybody. I mean, this is how this is playing out in actuality. This is like worse than a movie script, better than a movie script, because it's actually happening. Oh my God, this is insane. So I don't know. Let me move on. Okay. Sweat and natural sweat evaporates. Looking at my notes here, please excuse me as I look at them. I apologize. Now, again, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I'm sure I did. It in both cold air and in humid air, your breath your breath or particles that are discharged when you breathe they're more, they have a larger lifespan than they would in the summertime. The sun itself is not per se a lightsaber out there swatting down all of the virus that is emitted from someone when you're talking to them outside. That is not how that is not how the sun reacts to the virus. So when this person speaks or whatever, the sun doesn't go down and zip and fry all those molecules that are being disposed instantly. That does not happen instantly. That is something that may happen over a 10-second period or something like that. The life of the whatever particles that are being discharged. But if that person is sitting there for 30 minutes and everything, and he studied discharging particles, that adds up. And that whole area is now filled with those particles. And again, you do not want to have those particles going, you don't want to have those particles going into you. So you're not going to wear this, because this, number one, isn't a medical mask. It isn't an N95 mask. And number two, it is not a good enough barrier for you to prevent you from catching COVID. Remember, you had over 500,000 doctors, nurses, medical staff that have caught COVID, and they at a minimum were wearing these. We don't do minimums to protect yourself. This was something, this was a wrong, this is a wrong move, or this is a wrong idea to spread to people, talking about you want to stop the spread. No, your first and your number one priority is to stop it within your home, is to keep it from entering your home. Your number one priority is self-preservation. And self-preservation is not just $2 masks. This is not going to preserve your life. You have to spend more money and get something. This is probably $50, $60, whatever it costs. You have 12 million people that have caught this disease already. And you had a 250,000 people that have already died. And I'm sure all of you all, I don't know if you've seen the previous video I posted, I have already forecast that by April the 1st, there will be 1 million people in the United States that have died from this virus. 1 million people will have died from this virus by April the 1st. It will be the worst April Fool's Day that anybody has ever given anyone, and it'd be all at the behest or generosity of our current or your current president, Donald Trump. Oh, God. So we all know that Donald Trump and his administration does not give a shit about black or brown or white either. The only thing these brothers these people give a dang about is green. It's paperback. It's money. So, as far as preserving your life or doing things to help you, you have already seen so much evidence of it because of the fact that Donald Trump doesn't even want you to wear a mask. He don't give a shit. He wants you to die. He does not give a shit. No matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat, he don't give a fuck. I mean, sorry, Facebook. He don't care. So the responsibility that should have been his now, unfortunately, falls all the way down to you. You now have to do what is necessary to protect yourself. You now have to put yourself in a war mentality in order to survive. Put yourself in a war mentality and say, okay, I have got to protect myself and do whatever I can to protect myself and my offsprings and my family. I am going to, again, get one of these masks and put it on. And then what I'm also going to do is get some eye protection as well. I'm also going to get eye protection as well when I'm out and about. You know, a lot of people are not wearing these things because they don't think it looks good. You know, you have a lot of people that I see in schools or in the in like malls and everything. They're wearing a mask like this. This is not fucking wearing your mask. This is not going to protect yourself. This is not cool. You're not wearing this to make a statement. You are wearing this to protect your life. Wearing this like this, it does you no bit of good. It does you absolutely no good. It does no one any good, to be completely honest. It does no one any good. People, you do not breathe in and out of your mouth. Your mouth is only used for speaking and eating. Your breath comes from in and out of your nose. You want to prevent yourself from inhaling the COVID-19, and you want to, if you have it, prevent yourself from spreading COVID-19. The only way that you do that is through your nose, as in breathing, and also through your mouth. So when I say put the thing on your nose, I'm not saying put it on your nose and skip your mouth. I'm saying y'all mother suckers keep it right here. Do the extra inch and put it over your dang on nose. We don't need to see you. But more importantly, you want to make sure that COVID doesn't see you. So you need to put your damn mask on. Oh, and not this mask. You want a better mask than this. You really want something like this. So in that case, if you do have your mask like this, you don't want to be taking it off and be like, oh, yeah, because you want to speak to somebody or anything like that. If you're in a place where you have COVID environment and everything, the simple act of you doing this has now exposed you to the coronavirus. Because when you're in here, everything, all the particles and everything goes right into here. So as soon as you leave wherever the establishment that you are at, and you go into your car, you take a wipe and you clean all of this stuff off, and you say, okay, I'm gonna put this aside. Then I'm going my behind all the way home, and when I get home, if I've been there for a while, I'm taking everything off. Especially if I'm in a hot spot place. You got places that are like 40% positive rates and 60% positive rates. If I'm in any hot bed stuff like that, I'm not doing much of anything. And then if I am, where's my stupid? If I am, I'm actually wearing my where's my suit? I'm usually wearing my hazmat suit. I mean, I would wear my hazmat suit. For example, this is where I would wear it at. I went to a freaking meeting where they were talking about how they want to have all the people come to share their thoughts on how they can reform the police department and everything, right? It was a bunch of people in there, and I'm like, yo, I'm not going to catch COVID. So I went and put my, my hazmat suit, my mask, and my goggles. I was the only person. Well, I was definitely the only one in there with protective goggles. But as far as a mask like this, I was the only person that was in there with an actual full-fledged mask. Most of the other people that were there, they had this mask right here type of mask, or they had a cotton mask, which a lot of them, the police officers was wearing. They was handing them out for anyone that didn't have the mask. But those cotton masks, all this stuff right here is garbage. But like I said, the only time that you will wear that is if you are in an environment where a lot of people are going to be around and there's a high density of COVID cases. Or if you're working at a store, like such as a cashier or something like that, yo, I mean, I would try to get a different job or ask them if you can wear a more protective gear, such as like, I don't know, like, because I would love for you to wear a hazmat. I mean, they have to relax all of these policies and make sure that they have their staff safe. So for me, I would make sure that I have a hazmat suit when I come into work. And when I come out of work, I can take out my hazmat suit or prior to taking it off, I can clean it and everything, disinfect it and everything, and take it off and put it in my car and have it there to use for the next day. Meantime, the clothes and everything that I have up under the hazmat suit are not affected by the coronavirus and everything. Now, for me, I have an extra difficulty with my hair, and those of you who have hair like mine would have problems in this case because the COVID stuff, the particles that stick in your hair. And I mentioned it before, the way this COVID stuff is it's like, it's almost like a tag you're it type of thing, but like with something that's highly contagious. So like the thing that I used to say, it was like smoke. If you're smoking a cigarette and everything, if you're in somebody that chain smokes and everything, and he's been in there for 30 years or whatever, it's so dense of smoke that when you come in there and you're in there for 10 minutes or whatever, you come back out, you're like, man, my clothes stink. It just smell of smoke and everything. That is the same thing that happens with this virus. It kind of latches into you and everything, whether it be your clothes or your hair and everything. So it would be better for you to either wash it if you have long hair, or put it in a way that or shave that crap or something. I mean, if you're in that environment, you have to do what is necessary for you to make it home to your kids, and make sure that that's the only thing that makes them back home with you is yourself and not the virus. So definitely, again, as I mentioned, do not go traveling. You've seen this on the news and everything. Do not go traveling. Do not ride any public transportation. I don't care if it's bus, subway, train, whatever. Do not ride any public transportation. None whatsoever. I would also think very hard about staying in any hotels either, because I don't know what they're doing to disinfect those rooms and to make sure that there's no COVID that is just lingering in there. What if the person that was there prior to you had COVID and then it just went and died? like in 4 days. You know, and that person has emitted all that COVID into the air. Are they spraying the air or Lysol or whatever? What was on the surface? You cleaning all that stuff. One thing that you will note if you do go to some of these hotels now is they actually never did clean those top sheets because now because COVID is here, they stopped putting the top sheets on there because it's too. They just don't clean them. So they stopped putting the top sheets on there, and now you just have the regular sheet and like one of those cold weather blankets it was used to buy back in the 80s or 70s or some crap. I don't know. But yeah, it's a trip. I would not do any traveling at all. Stay home, stay safe, because we have entirely too many people contracting this virus. Too many people contracting this virus. Please, parents, if you have kids at school, please make sure that you you talk to them more and more and more about the difference in wearing a mask and this is not wearing a mask. Show them the difference between wearing a mask like this. This was not wearing a mask. This is wearing a mask. All right? You got to tell them that, regardless of what mask you have. And parents, you have to upgrade your mask. If you can do like this right here with your mask, this isn't good enough for you to protect you from COVID-19. If you can see some daylight in here, this is not good enough to protect you from COVID-19. The same with the cloth stuff. The COVID-19 particles is not some big fist that's going to come back and move your face mask down. It's like, wow, I get you with COVID. It's not like that. It's very minute things, very minute part. That's why they say they want an N95 mask. It's because it wouldn't block 95% of anything, any matter, anything that's ever been invented in man or by nature would not penetrate this. That is why they would give this rating a 99%. Or if this was a medical mask, it would be 95. But this is 99%, or maybe 100, but at least 99%. So I don't know. I forget where I was going with that. But upgrade it to I was saying, teach them how to wear the mask. Oh, and also upgrade your mask for both yourself and your kids. These face things. See, I'm 6'6", big old black man with big face and everything. This is a large for me. They also have them available in the small and also medium sizes as well. I got this from Amazon. So, you need to get it on Amazon. You have to create your account and everything. Get it on Amazon, or you can also order it on eBay. Sometimes you may find them with the whole thing on here. I forget the actual model. If you look at in my catalog of videos, I actually have a review of this, and it will give you all the product information. If you check out my video that I had made previously. If you check that out, it'll have all the information on it. But yeah, I guess that is, one thing that will help you to prevent your mask from falling down and everything up under your nose is, number one, as my screen just blinks out, number one thing that you need to do is, or that you could do to tighten it up or whatever, is, to keep it from falling down, is you can do something like this. If you have some kids that are a little bit smaller, that it doesn't fit or whatever, if you twist the things, oops. If you twist it, it makes it a little bit tighter. And this one doesn't have the silver thing, so it won't fit exactly on. And I am in, I feel weird. That's how this. It's going to feel different if you were to do it like this, but this is to keep it from falling down. It's definitely going to be tighter. You'll feel it even. You could actually tell that it's tighter, really. But this is one way of making it tighter so it can fit better for your kid. Now, I can tell you, as you know, this is hot. This right here is going to be hot as well. All right, so keep that in mind. Other thing I want to talk about is the vaccines. Just want to think one quick second, make sure I talked about everything. Yeah, I pretty much did. The other thing is the vaccines I want to talk about. Where did I put that information? Here it is. Okay. Number one, I have lots of questions about these viruses. I honestly think that this is something. Let me not go there because I don't want to put any bad juju, or not bad juju, but this is bad enough. Okay, so I want everybody to approach these vaccines with extreme caution, because the information that they presented in the last week or so that gave different efficacies of 90, 92, 94.5, 95% and everything, these results are misleading at best. Number one, these tests, whether it's Moderna or Pfizer or what's the other company that had some stuff? Moderna, Pfizer, and I forget what the other one was, but I know where it was. BioNTech. Like, with all of these, okay, normally it takes 8 years for vaccines to be made. Normally it takes 8 years for vaccines to be made. And now with these vaccines, they have made it in 10, 11 months. And that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing if it is a true vaccine. They are promoting, or they are touting, that these vaccines are, how do you say, like I said, 94, 90, 90% better and everything. And part of me wonders if this is like, if like the SEC might need to investigate them, because they're presenting this as if this was an actual trial when it wasn't. All they did was take people, whether it's 15,000 or 15, 20, 30,000 people, they divided them in half. Each company, they divided them in half, and they gave half of the participants an injection of a placebo, and half of the participants injections of the RNA vaccines that each of the people had. Now, when they gave them the vaccines or the placebo, I think it was 2 different doses and everything. What they then did was monitor them for like, I guess it was like 4 months or so. I forget when they actually started it, but they monitored them to see if they were going to catch COVID. They had them write up a diary to detail any signs or symptoms that they were experiencing, and then give all of the information to the companies so they can, tabulate the results and let everybody know how good or bad the vaccine is, and what are the side effects that you can expect while taking this vaccine. So the only thing is, afterwards, they just release them to their homes. They're telling them, okay, after we give you these things, we're going to have you to go back and just do your normal life. Do your normal life. And if you catch it, then we know that it is not good. Or if you do catch it, then we know it is good. 15, 20, 30,000 people. The problem with this form of trials is that this is not a closed trials. Now, I know ethically or whatever, it would be pretty much impossible for, I don't know, I would imagine it would be ethically impossible for these companies to, once they give them the placebo or vaccine, to then turn around and actually purposely expose them to the virus. They did not do that because of ethics in vaccine manufacturing, I guess. I don't know, but they did not, how do I say it? They did not have this as a closed trial. This was like, just like, it wasn't a true scientific trial. In addition to that, this was just a press report. This is just a press report. I honestly, being that they put the press report out, being that as well, they did not put the findings that they had was not peer reviewed, and being that they did not affect everyone with a version of the coronavirus that was in the actual trial, there's no way that they can say that these products have any kind of efficacy, because we do not know how many people were actually exposed to coronavirus. It could have been 100 people out of those 30,000 people that were actually exposed to that coronavirus, and maybe 60 of those did good, and 40 of them did not. They caught the virus. We don't know that. It could have been 40 people and 39 people caught the virus, and the other one that was exposed did not catch the virus just because he didn't have enough load or whatever, viral load. You know, we don't know about the other 29,940 people that were in the trial. We don't know if those people actually got exposed to the virus. So if we don't know that, how are they going to then say that, oh, because only 4 people caught the virus or whatever, it is 95% effective? The question that we need to be asking is, why did those other people catch the disease with this product? Granted, though, most vaccines are around 50 or 60% effective rate on keeping people from catching whatever virus the vaccine is meant to prevent. I think the only things that was like better was like polio or smallpox or whatever. That stuff was more so eradicated. But this is a much more contagious virus. It is also a virus that mutates. It changes not only within humans. It will change its molecular structure, but it also changes molecular structure once it is, or if it is passed between minks, which is like a little ferret type animal. If it's passed between humans and minks, it also could be transferred back to a human. But if it is passed back to a human, it's likely that virus will be mutated, a mutated version of coronavirus, and we don't know if the viruses would be effective to the mutated virus as well. So I don't know. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered. The main thing, though, is that this was not a closed experiment. All of those 30,000 people were not exposed to the virus. So they cannot say that, it's 95% effective without exposing everyone to the virus and then counting how many people actually received or actually contracted the virus after being exposed to it. So, I don't know. It has to be a controlled trial. Again, there were no peer reviews. So to be honest with you, they shouldn't even publish this. The trial, as far as I'm concerned, the trial is not even finished. As far as I'm concerned, they're going to try to finish the trials with us as guinea pigs. I'm gonna tell you, the first person that's going to be called is going to be or going to be inoculated is going to be like the first responders. I was laughing thinking about the congressman or whatever, but it's going to be the first responders, then probably the congressman, president, and all that other stuff, military, and the elderly. Those are the people that are going to be taking this how do you call it, this vaccine, and they are going to be the ones that are going to be guinea pigs, unfortunately, because remember, this is all still Trump's administration. This is all Trump's way of doing things, and Trump messes up a lot of things. So it's to be expected that this is going to be messed up as well. I'm not sure how they're having things set up as far as distribution and everything, because of the fact that they are not allowing Biden's team to get the information about what they're planning as far as distribution of the products and everything. I really feel as though there is some kind of shadiness that is going on as per the fight of trying to rid the nation of this disease, because number one, we have to lower the thresholds, the operational thresholds, the thresholds for COVID, the operational thresholds for COVID, in order for us to open up or reopen. Yeah. In Florida right now, for example, they're still open. They still got clubs. You go down Miami, you can party your behind off. You know what I'm saying? Daytona, Orlando, you still kick it. They got clubs. They got, bars, drinking. You can do whatever. 165,000 people are contracting COVID. Every 7 days, it's going to be another million people that has contracted COVID. But yet, we still out here partying, doing all this stupid stuff. Socializing is not that big of a deal. We need to cut back on our socializing, because if we do not, the only socializing that we're going to be doing is in heaven. We have been lucky, those of us that are still living here that have not contracted the disease, we have been lucky that we have either, one, not been in any contact with the disease, or God was looking after us, or both. And you should not be willing to keep tempting God or tempting fate. So you should try to upgrade your mask to make sure that you are protecting yourself. So this is one thing I wanted to show you too, in regards to your mask, and keeping it from falling off your face. See, there's a little it's like a Velcro little assembly thing, because this is the regular mask you put it on. This is the regular mask right here, but the problem that people have is a lot of times the mask will slide down and everything. So what this mask does is it has an extra thing that kind of goes above your head or over your head, and it will prevent the mask was sliding down on your face, like under your nose and everything. So you put this down. Mhm. And you like this, and you have this plastic. I'll turn my light off. Well, it's nothing to see it really, but it so that's a bad. It's still right here, and it just prevents the mass from sliding down. But yeah, I would get something like this. I mean, you really can get this or make this yourself at like a arts and crafts store or something, or you can buy like some Velcro and this type of thing, art store or like Home Depot or something like that, or buy crap online. Let me turn this off. But actually, there's some shallows. Don't work too well this late at night. Or in the morning. It's actually 5 o'clock in the morning. Good Lord. Let me think. What else do I need to tell you guys? I think that is it. Okay. The other thing, I hope that I want to mention. I hope that Biden and everything is not really following the same playbook that this is what's going on. 1 second. I hope that Biden isn't. I hope that Biden does not follow the same playbook that Trump is following. Because just like anything that a person fights, any disease that a person fights, it is easier to fight that disease when it's at its infancy, when it's at its weakest state. Right now, the vaccine is at its most powerful state. We have to beat the vaccine down to its weakest state. So that means right now, everybody needs to stay home and, until we get the numbers down to a level that can be handled by the state. And that level should be no more than 1%. You want to have, and that's statewide, 1%. That is the maximum. That's like the reopening level. Because what you want to do is have it at a level, at a threshold that the contact tracers can actually contact trace. In addition to that, I think that the Biden administration needs to follow suit with some of the other nations. I think it was like Singapore or South Korea, one of those other countries in which they use an app. Everybody in the country has to download the app, or they don't have to, but they download the app. And the way it works is they would notify you if you have been in contact with a person that actually contracted the coronavirus. It would let you know to say, okay, you need to quarantine because you possibly been exposed to the coronavirus. We need to get that technology adopted in our fight against the coronavirus. We need every tool that is possibly available for us to defeat this coronavirus. In the run-up to him to actually step foot in the office, in terms of fighting or how do I say, as far as being presidential and doing your job to help us fight the coronavirus, right now he can start doing that. Joe Biden and all the Democrats, they each have a bully pulpit of their own. Right now, they have a bully pulpit right now. It may not be as big as the president's bully pulpit is, but it sure as hell is a hell of a lot bigger than mine. And with that being said, I feel as though they should be a whole hell of a lot more concerned about the fact that their American citizens, the constituents of which were the people that vote them in the office, the constituents of which allowed them to have the job that they currently have and the different perks and everything that they have, that they are allowing those people to die. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand how you can't, for example, go back to your district that you're from and go jump on your local TV news stations and be like, yo, I understand what the president's saying. Squash all that. This is what really needs to go down. Because this doesn't, defeating the coronavirus should not be a team sport. We should not be waiting until the current team gets off the court before we start doing things to, as far as action to prevent the coronavirus. We know this man is not going to do anything. We know that. And believe me, he has had plenty of ideas presented to him and methods of which he could do something about it, but he has chose not to. So you don't need to be in any fear to say, okay, well, I don't want to show anything. I don't want to show my hand, because he might turn around and do it again. I mean, doing it right after I did. Then he'll get credit for it. That's not how this is. You will be president within 80 days. Within 3 months, you will be president. 2 months, you'll be president. How many days is it? December, January, 2 months. Yeah, you be 2 months. You be president. 70 days, 60 days. Dang, it's going quick. So listen, the president needs to be on his bulletproof print, even if it is a junior bulletproof print at this point right now. He needs to be saying, look, we need to change X, Y, and Z, and we need to change the matrix of which we allow ourselves to open up, and also a matrix that say, okay, we need to close back down. Because currently right now, the only thing that's happening is all these capitalists, all these business people or whatever are trying to squeeze out the most money that they can before they go ahead and close down everything. But it's ass backwards. We know what's going to happen if we continue to allow the stores to stay open, because we know that our constituents, or some of our constituents, are not doing the right things to prevent the spread of the disease. And we know that it's going to be even that much more communicable because of the weather conditions that is now persistent throughout much of America. If you didn't know that, now you know it, as far as why that situation is, based off the information I gave you earlier in this program. So, you know, we have a lot of things to change, and I'm hoping that the new administration is focused on really beating this thing down to a little bitty pebble, and then squashing the crap out of that junk, and it being gone for good. But in order for us to do that, we have to do the one most important thing that we have to do in order to do that is we have to change the way that we are fighting this, or the look of which we are fighting, or the strategy of which we're fighting this. As far as the person, the individual, 330 million people that are citizens of the United States, we have to take a different approach in stopping this virus. It is not that we want to wear masks to prevent the spread. It is we want to wear the absolute best mask to prevent yourself from dying, from catching this COVID stuff. I do not care if you have not had any previous condition or prior condition, or if you do have some sort of prior condition, you can still die from COVID. You can still spread COVID. So the thing that's best for you to do, for every American to do, is to not catch it. Not to not spread it, but to not catch it. If you don't catch it, you won't spread it. Update your protective equipment. Get the maximum password to prevent any viruses from attacking your personal computer. This is the maximum password protection. Do not fall victim of this virus when you don't have to. God bless you all. Please share this video with everything. If you have any comments or concerns, please talk to me. Vice President Biden, I'm here for you if you need me. Holler at me. If you all have any questions or concerns, hit me back on the Twitter. Please like, share, and subscribe. You all please stay safe, and please stay prayed up. And listen, please do not give up on anything. Please do not. It is going to be immensely difficult. But in 4 months, winter is going to be over. And things will be looking a lot better. We have a lot more better perspectives. But it starts with protecting yourself to make sure that you're able to live long enough to see that 4 months. And you have got, the only way that you can do that is to upgrade your mask to make sure you don't catch this crap, and upgrade your overall mode, or how do you say, I don't know what I want to say. Upgrade your whole protection, like profile or whatever. You know what I mean? Because if you don't, you may not make it. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all take care, y'all. God bless. Have a good day.